the Blue Wizard here. Welcome to the Fuzzyberrys Theatre. And today the Fuzzyberrys are going to perform the tale of Little Red Riding Hood. With Daisy Fuzzyberry as Little Red Riding Hood, the Green Witch as Little Red Riding Hood's Gran, Curious Fuzzyberry as Little Red Riding Hood's mum, and the Blacksmith as the Woodcutter. Now, if you're all comfortable, let's relax and enjoy the tale of Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Little Red Riding Hood, because she always wore her red riding cloak with a hood that her Gran had made for her. Little Red Riding Hood lived in a small house in a small village at the side of the Blue Woods. Oh look, here is Little Red Riding Hood's mother, who smiled and said, "I've baked some scones and squeezed some fresh lemonade for your Gran. Would you like to take them over to her cottage?" Little Red Riding Hood smiled and said yes, because she loved to see her Gran. Little Red Riding Hood's mum gave Little Red Riding Hood the basket with the goodies in and said, "Now go straight to Gran's cottage and come straight back. I don't want you walking in the Blue Woods when it goes dark. And don't talk to strangers." The tale of Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood smiled and said she'd run all the way to her Gran's and run all the way back. Little Red Riding Hood's mum waved, and Little Red Riding Hood set off running. At first, she ran and skipped through the Blue Woods, but soon she noticed the beautiful flowers and butterflies and sat down enjoying the sunny day. After a while, she said, "Oh, I must go to my Gran's house before it gets late." And with that, she jumped up and started to run again. Soon, though, she saw some friendly horses and danced with them in a green meadow. Little Red Riding Hood said, "Oh, bye-bye, I have to go to my Gran's house and I mustn't be late." And with that, she jumped up and started to run again. After a while, Little Red Riding Hood met 3 sheep and decided to tell them a story. She sat down and told them about Sleeping Beauty, which a sheep liked. And when she was finished, she said, "Oh, I must go, sheep. I can't be late." And with that, she ran off towards her Gran's house. It had started to go dark as Little Red Riding Hood made her way through the Blue Woods. Oh, but a creature was watching Little Red Riding Hood, a wolf, who thought he would like to eat Little Red Riding Hood and whatever was in her basket. The wolf stepped out and surprised Little Girl, and with his most charming voice he said, "Hello there, are you lost?" Little Red Riding Hood said, "Oh, you scared me." In fact, she was so surprised she forgot she wasn't allowed to talk to strangers, and especially not strange wolves. "No," said Little Red Riding Hood, "I'm going to my Gran's house to give her some lemonade and cakes." "Yum, yum," thought the wolf. "Cakes, lemonade." "Well," said the wolf, "where does your Gran live?" "Just over the bridge and through the gate, near the crooked tree," said Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf was moving closer to Little Red Riding Hood and the cakes and lemonade when they both saw a woodcutter coming towards them. "Hello," said the woodcutter. "Are you lost?" Little Red Riding Hood said, "No, I'm just talking to this big friendly dog." But when she looked around, the wolf had disappeared. "Friendly dog," said the woodcutter. "I haven't seen a friendly dog in the woods. Are you sure it wasn't a big bad wolf?" "Well," said Little Red Riding Hood, "he seemed friendly. He asked if I was lost." "Oh," said the woodcutter. "Take this. It's my loudest whistle. And if you see that big friendly dog again, blow on this whistle and I'll find you, because I think that me and my axe should meet this big friendly dog." "Oh, thank you," said Little Red Riding Hood. "I'll have to get to my grand's now. See you later, bye now." And she ran off. Meanwhile, the wolf ran over the bridge, through the gate, and found a cottage near a crooked tree. The wolf went over to the cottage door and knocked twice. "Who is it?" said a sweet little voice. The wolf tried to talk like Little Red Riding Hood. "Hello, Gran. It's Little Red Riding Hood with some cakes and lemonade from my mum." "Little Red Riding Hood," said Gran, "doesn't sound like you. You sound rather gruff and a little growly." "It's me, Gran," said the wolf. "I fell in a pond and I'm wet and I've caught a cold." "Oh," said Gran, and opened the door. And the wolf pounced, grabbed Gran, and quickly trapped her in Gran's shed outside at the bottom of the garden. The wolf could see Little Red Riding Hood coming up the path, so quickly ran to the cottage. The wolf put Gran's nightcap on and jumped into bed. No sooner had he pulled the blankets up than there was a knock at the door. "Who is it?" said the wolf. "It's me, Gran," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Oh, come in, Little Red Riding Hood. I'm in bed. I've got a cold," said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood let herself in the house. "Poor Gran, you don't sound well. Rather gruff and a little growly," said Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf smiled. "Come into the bedroom so I can see you," said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood went into the bedroom, where it was dark. She could just see a shape in Gran's bed. "Oh dear," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Poor Gran, let me make you feel better." Well, the wolf peered over the blankets. "Oh, Gran," said Little Red Riding Hood, "you must be ill. Your ears have grown so much bigger." The wolf's eyes flashed, and he said, "All the better to hear you with." "Oh," said Little Red Riding Hood, "Gran, what big eyes you have." The wolf smiled and said, "All the better to see you with." "Oh," said Little Red Riding Hood, "but Gran, what big teeth you have." The wolf smiled and said, "All the better to eat you with." And with that the wolf jumped out of bed. "Oh," said Little Red Riding Hood, "you're not my Gran. You're that big friendly dog." And she ran out of the cottage and blew the woodcutter's whistle. The wolf ran after Little Red Riding Hood and nearly caught her when her Gran jumped out of the shed window and straight into the wolf. The wolf and Gran sat dazed on the ground when the woodcutter appeared and captured the wolf with a big net. "Oh, Gran, are you all right?" said Little Red Riding Hood. "Yes," said Gran. "I'll never talk to strangers again," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Even big friendly dogs." "This isn't a big friendly dog," said the woodcutter. "This is a big bad wolf from the mountains, and I'm going to take him right back there now, so he can't bother anybody else in the Blue Woods." Little Red Riding Hood said thank you to the woodcutter and waved bye-bye. Gran and Little Red Riding Hood found one of the friendly horses and rode back to the village to share the cakes and lemonade with Little Red Riding Hood's mum. The end.